Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Finally got my GF, 29, to admit she cheated. She packed her shit and moved 3 weeks ago. Update. There were many red flags that led up to this point, and I could likely write a novel on my situation, but I will spare the details. Here's how I found out. Her and I got into an argument one night about something trivial. I went to bed around 11 p.m. and I received a message at 1 a.m. while I was dead asleep from my ex. She said she was going for a walk. I woke up at about 4 in the morning when she finally made it back into our bedroom. I was too tired to care and I went back to sleep until I woke later in the morning. She had slept in until about 1 in the afternoon. She also intentionally avoided leaving/returning through our front door where I have a doorbell camera installed, likely to avoid giving me a timestamp on her whereabouts. When she finally woke up, I asked about her walk as it was totally out of character. No good things happen at 1 a.m, she wouldn't tell me who she was with, and I could clearly see she was making up a story on the spot. She later told me that she opened up to somebody, co-worker, about how she was unhappy in our relationship and disclosed a little too much information that should have been obligated to discuss with me. This dude apparently walked her home and offered to kiss her. She said she declined the offer. She maintains this part of the story as truth, but my trust was already broken at this point. As weeks passed, I would bring up the story and the details would change, and she told me she was going to move back home. I didn't understand the idea of her leaving unless she was guilty about something, so I continued to push the issue further. One day she told me she put in her 2 weeks notice at work, so I knew she was leaving. She had messed up. She knew too. But she hadn't admitted yet. But that night she finally admitted to me after I took her phone and went through it in front of her. I told her to leave, and when she had nowhere else to go, she decided to retract her statement about cheating and then said it didn't happen. That is something you don't admit to unless you actually do it. As it turns out, it was not a one-time offense and it was an affair. I may not even know the full truth or for exactly how long this was going on for. I guess I have to accept the story she has given me as truth and move on. I do have a morbid curiosity though about the real truth, but I know it's only going to hurt me more. To give some backstory, our relationship was nothing short of unconventional. We were together for 7 years and 4 of those were apart. Long distance. We tried to see each other as much as we could when we were apart, but there were some gaps in between. When we finally decide on a compromise and living together, this happens no more than a year later. If she was so quick to do this while living under the same roof as me, it's undeniable it happened when we were apart. I've invested so much into a person apart and in person, and I never thought she would just throw it all away like that. The one person I trusted more than anyone betrayed me. If she was so unhappy, she should have left. I know what you guys are going through. Hope we can all find some healing. Make sure you let her family aware of it as well, so that way one of her siblings will be kind enough to let her future partners know she has a past and to keep an eye out. She took accountability and told her family, so I give her some credit there. They are disappointed in her. Excellent advice. It's always the same sad, predictably pathetic story. I was unhappy, so instead of talking to my spouse/partner about it and working together on our relationship, I chose to pursue another person while lying to my faithful partner's face and letting the AP know just how unhappy I am, and telling AP things that cross boundaries and count as oversharing and betrayal because AP gets me. AP sees how I am a good person who is suffering. AP would never do that to me, blah blah blah. It is vain, childish, selfish and just downright wrong. But they do it anyway. And then blame their partner. Truly disgusting low character behavior. Yup. Disgusting on the AP's part, too. Just once I wish that person would actually care and say something like, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with you sharing this info with me. This should be between you and your partner." Instead, the AP wants to play hero/savior/white knight and is so in need of being chosen they run to the WP's rescue and take advantage of the situation, happily helping them cross those boundaries, getting physical, feeling needed by each other, etc. Just absolute pieces of shit all around. Yeah, if only the world were fair and people were decent, right? It's despicable all around. WS reaches out to the first attractive person they can find. They confide in that person who quickly becomes AP. AP then sees an easy lay/quick opportunity for cheap thrills. AP then doesn't have to do anything but lie and pretend they care. AP confirms WS' opinion instead of saying shouldn't you be talking to your spouse about this? Then they became a unit instead of WS and BS being a unit. They confirm each other's bulls at #% and collude together to basically destroy BS, then screw and laugh about it. More often than not the white knight/savior AP ghosts and moves on to the next willing victim after ruining yet another marriage. I hate cheaters. The worst part is that the dude was not even attractive. Like if he was better looking I could understand maybe a little bit, but she downgraded instead. Cheaters typically downgrade. My ex-husband did the same thing. Not only was she unattractive, but she was also broke and had zero direction in life. Multiple kids from different dads too. He went from trying to shift blame onto me to begging for another chance in less than 24 hours because he knew how bad he messed up, lol. Never going to happen. Some people. By attractive I did not necessarily mean handsome, etc., more like the first shiny thing that catches their eye is enough reason to risk and lose years of devotion and honest love, all the while destroying the betrayed just for fantasy and some quick kicks. It is honestly so pathetic. One of the most hurtful things my STBXW said was that it could have been anyone. Damn be that is cold, but it wasn't just anyone, it was my friend. Edit, my friend was a well-known man-whore player with children from 2 failed marriages who parties and plays video games most of the time. It sounds like it was only a committed relationship on your side. The part about making a compromise and moving in with each other seems to be a red flag. It shouldn't be a compromise, it should be the progression of a relationship if both of you are committed to each other. Just a thought. She told me she wanted to cheat on me. Need supportance for. Anyway, I posted a few weeks back after I found out about my partner's 29F affair. I still cannot shake the words she had said to me. Upon her confession, I asked why she would do that. She said with no mercy and without hesitation, I wanted to cheat on you. She had also said, what else do you want to know? I fucked other guys too. As time moved past after that night, she told me that her statement about hooking up with other guys was untrue and maintains that the only time she was unfaithful is with the AP in question. Like, how toxic can you be to say that to somebody to deliberately hurt them? Why even go to the extent of putting that doubt in my mind, especially if that statement was untrue? Call me old-fashioned, but nobody just admits to cheating with multiple partners just to piss somebody off, especially if they didn't do it. I don't know who she is anymore or if I ever really did. Just to recap here, quick edit, her and I have no contact. Her and I are not on speaking terms right now. This is what was said to me while she was packing her up shit and getting ready to leave. Actually, you now know who she is. She is someone that doesn't respect you, value your relationship and enjoys relationships intentionally hurting you. It's time to move on. Why would anyone want to keep someone this cruel and toxic in their life? Please don't say for the kids. That's out of the question. Fortunately we didn't have children together. It may not feel like it right now, but you dodged a bullet, man. No kids means you can make a clean break and go full North Carolina. No need to meet this person again in your life, ever. We are not in contact. This was shortly after I found out. And stay no contact. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.